Hello everybody, this is Charles and I am back with another toy review, this time for the Takara Tomy Transformers Masterpiece MP-28 Hot Rodimus. Alright, so this time I'm actually reviewing the test shot or the backdoor version of Hot Rodimus, which is this one. So for the purpose of this review, let's call it the test shot. So this is the official piece and this is the test shot. So I got a friend who got this for me and I got my hands on it today because I want to do a comparison between the two just to see the difference. And so most obviously the difference is the windscreen, alright? So for the test shot, the windscreen is not transparent or clear plastic, but a very light blue tinge, okay? A very light blue plastic for the window, alright? So apart from that, what you can see from the difference up front and in the vehicle mode is that for this portion, alright, for the headlights, okay, my camera may not be able to capture it, but for the orange paint for the test shot, alright, it's lighter. So it's a lighter, slightly dull orange paint, whereas for the final version, it's a darker and more metallic orange chrome paint for the headlights. So that's another difference that you can see. So apart from that, also from here, also my camera may not be able to capture it nicely, but for this, the yellow fins are a lighter tone of yellow. So this is more like a dark sunlight, darker tone of yellow, which is like a thicker painting, whereas this is like a lighter tone of yellow. So I'm not sure whether they chose a lighter color or because the paint on the final release is thicker, but it seems that the color is the same, just that the paint on the final version is thicker. And also for this piece, the orange piece, alright, again, my camera may not be able to show it well, but I can tell you for sure that the orange part over here, right, is of a much lighter orange compared to this. For the official release, the final release, the orange is, there's actually more paint, okay? So the paint is thicker on the final release compared to the paint on the test shot. So the test shot wise, the orange is much thinner. Okay, in fact, I'm not very sure the paint. I think there's a paint, but it's a very light coat of paint compared to the final release, whereby the coating is much thicker. And also, there have been some discussion that the chrome for the test shot is better than the final release. Personally, when I look at it, it doesn't seem to have any difference to me. So I'm going to debunk this, so there's no difference in that. Another difference you will see is that for the test shot, okay, the headlights, alright, the headlights are actually stuck onto the plastic piece. So instead of being pinned, okay, it's actually stuck. So you can see this clearly because when you look at the final release piece, the metal piece is actually thicker and it goes through almost to the tip of the end of the plastic, whereas for the test shot, it's only on the very surface and they actually applied, I think, a glue to it to stick it on. So for the test shot, the headlights are actually stuck onto the plastic by, I think, glue. Whereas for the final release, okay, they actually pinned it. So it's a pin insert rather than just a glue on. So that's another difference that you can see. And also for the red, okay, for the top part, in the vehicle mode, the red, the maroon color is exactly the same. There's no difference to that. But when you look at the bottom, right, you can tell the difference in the sense that the red, okay, for all these pieces, okay, just to note that the inner pieces, red pieces for Hot Rodimus or Hot Rod is different. It's a different shade of red compared to the final release. So over here you can see underneath this part, alright, this part, okay, the shoulders, okay, over here, the elbow joints, okay, and this part of the hand, the red is different. So for the test shot, the red is of a lighter, more pinkish, light pinkish sort of color rather than compared to the final release, whereby this is more of a maroon, darker tone of red. So this is the other difference that you have in the final release versus the prototype. Okay, so let me see whether I can see any other difference. Yeah, so this part as well is lighter pinkish sort of red compared to the final release, whereby this is a thicker color. Okay, so before I'm going to show the transformation, I'm just going to go through the accessories. So I have over here this entire set of accessories from the test shot. and over here in the box, so they don't get it mixed up. The official release. So let me first go through the fishing rod. So fishing rod wise, again there is a difference in the color. So for the final release, this is more like a grayish color, whereas for the prototype or the test shot, it's more like a bluish color. Okay, so over here you can see some color difference. Okay, and same thing. Okay, for the fishing rod, the head of fishing rod. Okay, this is actually of a darker tone of gray or silver compared to this is like a more consistent color to the rod itself. So this is of a thinner color, but over here is a much more solid metallic color, and this is of a gray color, and the color over here is more consistent to the one over here. So back over here for the slicer. Okay, so again for the test shot, this is of a more gray, more metallic color, very darker tone of gray compared to this, which is more of a bluish color. Again, let me try to do some comparison over here. Okay, so this is darker and more metallic. And personally, I like this more. This is more metallic. This is more like a very light gray bluish kind of color. This is more solid. I mean, the color over here is much nicer. It's metallic color. Okay, same thing for the guns. All right, for the guns wise, I'm just gonna hold it side by side. So this is the final release. The guns are again like a bluish type of color, whereas this from this test shot, okay, is of a thicker color. Let me just put one gun down and compare the other one. Okay, so again, just to do another comparison. So for the official release, this is more of a bluish type of color, whereas for the final, for the test shot, this is more like a metallic gray color. Okay, so the color is a subtle color difference, and it's the same for both guns. And personally, again, I personally like the darker metallic color for the gun compared to the bluish color, which I find not as attractive. I think the cars are interfering in my background. Okay, so over here it looks better over here. So this is a darker metallic color, sort of metallic gray. This is more like a bluish gray color. So this is the difference, and like I said, I prefer the test shot color more for the guns. Alright, and now for the transformation, I'm just going to go through very quickly because I'm going to do a comparison between the official version versus the test shot. So I'm just going to transform it really fast. Okay, not really fast, but I'm just going to transform it as fast as I can, so that we can save some time and can have more time for commentary. So, okay. Here. Oh, yes, another thing I want to highlight is that it seems that the plastic portion for this piece, for the test shot, it seems to be slightly thicker, which is why for the test shot I don't see the stress mark that I see over here, the final release. So for the final release, I know a lot of people have this problem whereby you see the stress marks over here, and I'm not sure whether it will break. But for the test shot, the piece that I got, it's thicker and there's no stress marks. So not sure whether it's the same for all test shot, but it's definitely much better in my opinion. Okay. Pardon me for my cough. Okay, just gonna get this part done. Okay, slot this in. Okay, yes, and this time I'm gonna transform the arm correctly. I'm gonna flip it. Okay. Here. Okay, get this out. One thing similar about the test shot is that this, which is the right wrist, right hand, is more difficult to take out. So it's the same problem as well for the official release. I have my right hand seems to be more, it seems to be tighter, so it's more difficult to take out. Okay, let me just get this portion done. Okay, lock this in place, lock this in place. Get this out. Lock this in place. Okay. One more thing is that the test shot version of Hot Rod seems to have tighter joints on the overall. Really on the overall. Okay, so I'm gonna put this piece here first. This is the official release. Okay, here you go. This is the test shot, which I'm gonna transform right now. Okay, seems to stick on tighter. Okay, unpack this. Unpack this. Okay, flip it. Okay, over here. Okay. I might have a problem struggling to get the fist out, so I hope it doesn't happen this time. I hope. Okay, for this, okay, it's tight. Okay, it's tight, but not so bad. For this, extremely tight. Okay, managed to get it out this time round, fortunately. Okay, now for the backpack. Now for the backpack. Okay. Okay. So like I said, when I look at this piece, right, it seems that the backpack, this portion, this piece is slightly thicker, very slightly thicker, and there's no stress mark on the sides over here on my piece. So I'm not sure what went on, but in this aspect, the so-called the backdoor test shot release is better than the Takara Tomy's final release. Okay, I'm gonna put this in over here. Okay, flip it. Okay, here. Lock the backpack over here. Lock it in place. Okay. Let's see if I locked it in properly. Yep, tap it in properly. Okay. Gonna pull this out first. Separate the feet. The legs, sorry. Unpack this. Okay. Peg it in. Peg it in. Unpack this. Oops, which part? Oh, unpack it here. Okay. Unpack it. Pack it in. Okay, pack it in over here. Okay. Press it down. And there we have a Hot Rodimus fully transformed. Okay, let me see if I got that correctly. Yep, all packed in correctly. So okay, so we have over here two hot rods. Okay, so okay, and this once you transform it, you can't really tell the difference. Okay, it's like the same. Okay, some difference I can tell for sure offhand. I'm just gonna lift the mask up a little bit, and I'm gonna lift the helmet up for you as well. Okay, again the difference, I'm so sorry that my camera is not high res, so you can't really tell the difference. Okay, but for the final release, Hot Rod has sort of a darker tone of blue, okay, darker tone of blue for its eyes. Whereas for the test shot, the eyes have a thinner tone of blue. So it's either, okay, to me it seems that it's either non-painted, okay, it's either it's non-painted or they use a lighter tone of blue for its eyes, and over here they use a darker shade of blue. So not really sure whether it's an unpainted version of the blue or because they actually didn't. So I'm not okay. Sorry. So I'm not really sure whether they didn't paint the plastic for this. Okay, but it seems that they did. Okay, I'm quite sure. Okay, right now I'm looking at it. Okay, I'm quite sure they painted. Just that for the test shot they use a lighter shade of blue, and for the final version of Hot Rod, they actually use a darker shade of blue. I'm not sure. Take a look at the visor now. Gotta be very careful because I know the visor has issues of breakage. Okay. Visors wise, let's see. Okay, again for the visors, very clear. Okay, you all can see probably from the screen. Let me just close the helmet. So over here versus over here, you can see that for the test shot, the visor has a lighter shade of blue. Whereas for the final version of Hot Rod, the visor is a darker shade of blue. So yes, this is for sure, this is for certain. So this is darker shade of blue. You can tell very obviously the contrast between the eyes, the visor, and the face. Whereas for this, you can hardly see the contrast. Okay, and I can tell you that the plastic used for this visor is the same color as the one that is used for the window. So this is, to me, like I said, it's not transparent, but it's more like a very light tinge of blue. Okay, and for my test shot, okay, generally the joints are tighter. Okay, the arm here, the joint is tighter compared to the final version. Okay, only thing is that for my test shot, this arm is loose, and I can tell you why. Because when I look at the joint, okay, it's not fully pinned. This pin is not fully inserted in, so I'm just trying to find a way to press it in further, so that the pin is actually inserted completely into the joint, so that it will be tight. So that is the only reason why I think it's not tight. So no big issue, because okay, I mean it's floppy. Like I say, it's floppy. But if you just press it in, okay, just press it in. Yeah, because it holds well. So not a big issue to me anyway. So I'm just gonna hold it this way. And waist wise, this waist is so much tighter. Okay, the waist is so much tighter compared to the, see, official release. The waist just falls down on its own. So the waist is so much looser compared to the test shot. See, the test shot doesn't drop. You have to shake it hard for it to drop. See, I shake it normally, it doesn't drop. I shake it hard, it drops. Whereas for the official release, I don't even need to shake it, it just goes down by itself. Okay, and another difference also that the test shot has tighter joints for the lower legs. So over here, let me just test the knees. Okay, knees wise is about the same, but for the hip joints, okay, these are not as tight. Okay, you can move them quite freely. Okay, rotate it quite freely. Whereas let's look at the test shot. It is tighter, significantly tighter, definitely tighter, and the rotation part tighter as well. So generally on the overall, the test shot joints are tighter, especially on the left leg. It's so tight, so tight, so tight. I'm so worried I might break something. So I'm gonna hold it close to the joint before I move it. Yeah, it's really tight. So I'm gonna be very careful. Okay, so it's extremely tight, I can tell you guys. So for the test shot, both legs, in fact, the joints for both thighs are extremely tight. So exercise caution when you use it. Ankles wise, let me just see. It's really tight over here. Let's compare it to the official release. Yep, ankles wise as well. Official release is not so tight, okay? Tight enough, but not so tight. Whereas for the test shot, it's tighter. So overall, the test shot has a tighter joint compared to the final version. And let's say rotation of the waist, this is also very tight. Compared to here, yeah, it's smoother. it's smoother. Okay, and it's smoother not because I played with it for quite a fair bit, but this is definitely tighter. Okay, so the only times I played with Hot Rodimus was once when I transformed him before I did the review, and another time was when I transformed him during the review, and the third time is right now when I transform him back to vehicle and the robot mode for this review. So all in all, I transformed him 3 times. I transformed this guy 3 times. Okay, when I got it on my way back, I transformed him 3 times as well, so it is still tighter. So overall, when you look at the test shot versus the official release, okay, obvious difference, like I said, the window colors, the visor color, the color of the fins, okay. So this is like lighter yellow, darker yellow, lighter orange, darker orange. The maroon, okay, the red used on the inner part of a hot rod of a more pinkish, more pinkish sort of red, whereas this is of a darker tone of red. And for the headlights, okay, it's a lighter shade, okay, it's a lighter shade, and this is a darker shade of orange chrome. And also the headlights for the test shot seems to be glued on, okay, glued onto the plastic, whereas for this it seems to be pinned on. So that's another difference. So and then the other difference is also the accessories, okay. Accessories wise, okay, the test shot has a darker shade of color for the accessories. More noteworthy for the guns and for the slicer, which I personally like the metallic gray color more than the bluish color for the official release. So bluish color over here and metallic gray color over here. So yes. So if you were to ask me which I prefer, I think each has its own merits. I mean, I think if the test shot had the darker blue plastic, I think it's nice because I like tight joints. Tight joints allow you to do a lot more poses and it's more durable and such. So yeah, so I think the test shot right now, in fact, because it's a variant, I think it's quite highly sought after. So I'm glad that my friend managed to help me get this piece. Thank you for that. And I think apart from that, it's equally a nice piece. I mean, but if you manage to get yourself a test shot, you know, it's a good feeling to know that you get a test shot because these are not openly released in the market and it is an official product still. So if you could get your hands on a test shot at a good price, get it now, because I think Takara Tomy are very tight on making sure that their samples and the test shots don't get out of the factory. So this is a one-time off thing, and who knows, I don't think we're gonna get a test shot of Shockwave anytime soon, or Ratchet, but you know, it's still good. You know, if you can get your hands on this and it's at a good price, do get it. So here's Charles signing off with yet another toy review. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Do stay tuned to my channel for more reviews next time.